I'm going to offer. Oh yeah. These are so amazing. Perfect. Yeah, I'll let him. Got it right here. Happy Monday, everybody. That was really loud. Sorry, right. We're working through some technical issues. We're having a great time because this is a little bit different of a setup. So it's a little louder than I anticipated, but welcome to our February general membership meeting. So thank you everybody for being here. We're really excited to get started. So what we are going to do today is we're going to go ahead and get, Danielle is running the slides from the back. So this is going to be a little bit unique of a change here. We don't normally do this, but that's okay. We're gonna have some fun here. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna go through our normal call to order, which is what we're doing now. We're gonna go through some introductions to the whole new board for this year. We're gonna welcome our new members. We're going to go through an elected officials update because we have a few members from our community here. We're gonna go through a safety update because we do have HPD from South Central Station here. We also have Precinct 6 here. We're going to go through our treasury report, secretary report, president update, committee reports, announcements, and then we'll end from here. So we have a really full agenda and we're going to do the best that we can to stay on time and get you home on a timely manner. So I guess the first thing we want to do is how many of you are new to coming to our monthly meetings? I see a lot of familiar. Do you want to say your name and what? Nice. How long have you lived here?
All my life.
Oh, lovely. It's good to see you. Anybody else that's new to the meetings? That's okay. We're very fortunate to have you. Thank you for coming. So we do have, it's supposed to say 2023, so I apologize. That was on me. We do have a new board that we just voted in, that everybody voted in as of this year. So I am you might have some new people on chat, so if they do, please speak up. We'll go ahead and go through those. I'm not new to the board, but I am new to just as a president. I have pretty big experience on the trains committee, so you have heard from me before a lot talking about trains, but we're going to talk about more than trains, I promise. We also have Clay. Clay is our vice president. We've got Everett. Everett has been around as well. He's our secretary. We've got Pulani. Pulani's been around. She's been our treasurer for quite some time. We've got Erin. Erin she's unfortunately not here today, but Erin has been in charge of our home tour. So anytime you've been on our home tour, she's been the one who's been in charge of that. We've got Kyle, who's not secretary this year, but is just part of the board this year. We definitely value his expertise. We've got Thomas. I thought I saw Thomas around here somewhere. Thomas is on our welcome committee today, so he's out in the lobby. We got Sarah. Sarah, I just saw Sarah's hanging out in the back. Sarah's on our board as well. We've got Matthew. Matthew's new to our board. We've got Catherine. She's on our welcome committee, so she's hanging out up front, welcoming our members to our meeting. And we've got Daniela, who is our past president. So she's unfortunately hanging out back there, waving from the back. Unfortunately, it's like the temperature of the sun back there. So please, it's very, very hot, but she's helping us out today. So I guess the next thing we want to do, there are a couple staff members and people from our elected officials. Stella, I see you online. Did you want to go ahead and say hello from Willie Davis's office?
Yes, good evening, everyone. My name is Stella Ramirez, and I represent the office of Councilmember Willie Davis. I am his office manager and scheduler.
I'll give Stella a minute. Okay. We saw Mario Castillo's office. I thought I saw Mario Castillo's office, but maybe I didn't. Second Ward is having their big meeting. And then, of course, I know Joaquin is supposed to be coming. I know Joaquin is supposed to be, you want to come up and say hello? You want to come say hello?
I'm from Councilmember Julian Rivera's office now.
Perfect.
I just came to introduce myself again. And then if anybody needs anything or I'm here. Pardon me?
We have, just so the people on Zoom know, we have representation from Julian Ramirez's office. just coming to say hello. And if you need anything from their office, just don't hesitate to reach out. And Joaquin will be coming. He's
I will be getting more information as we get it. Right now, it's at the, we have it at the National Day Center, and it's gonna be from 10 to. It's basically resources around, from the city as well as nonprofit. That's the Magnolia, we'll center from 10 to 1, and then you can always contact me. If you have any questions or, you know, need to reach out to the office, and I'm gonna be the one primary.
And then online, we also have Susana Castillo from Commissioner Garcia's office. I'm not sure if you want to be able to, if you want to come off mute and say something to the group here.
Yes, hi, I'm Susana Castillo, and I'm the Community Liaison for Commissioner Adrian Garcia's office. Today, we just wanted to reiterate that we are running our partnership project program, and we're hoping that Eastwood is able to send in some applications that we can partner in bettering the community. So just let me know if you guys have any questions regarding it, or you can always give me a call.
All right, perfect. So when Mr. Martinez, I'm sorry, Councilmember Martinez, I'm so used to calling him Joaquin, so this is really strange calling him Councilmember Martinez. When Councilmember Martinez comes in, we will be sure to give him some time to say hello to everybody. All right, moving on, we do have HPD coming in to say hello from our South Central substation. Do you guys want to come give a quick update? You can come to the microphone if that's helpful.
I'll go with that. Faisal Bashir, been out here for about 24 years, 14 as a officer and the last 10 as a sergeant. I used to control this area and now I'm in charge of the whole district. We just had Commander Change, Commander Wayne took over for Johnson. And every third Tuesday of the month, we have a pit meeting at South Central Station. I know a few guys don't make the meeting, but if you guys have any concerns or anything wrong with the neighborhood, especially up to East End, and then regular tracks cuts us and then the Magnolia Station. So we're on this side, and then go on all the way down to Vice Village. I'll go out to them all, around here, to work out here.
Good evening, my name is Australia, but I don't want to raise in second ward. Been with the department 5 years. Work under Sergeant Bashir. Just want to my job and at least see the friendly faces on this side of our job. Yeah.
And I'm Officer Joshua Barrow. I've been with the department for 3 years. I grew up in the area. I still have family in the area right here in East End. And so I've been around here a lot more. Coming out here to South Central 3 years ago was really kind of transition to just keeping all the area and just be around here.
I got a question. Yes, what does PIT stand for? It's
Positive Interaction Program.
Positive interaction program. Yes. But believe it or not, when we have a pit meeting, we have people coming from all different organizations, different part of the neighborhood. And a lot of times we just, we're going to call and all that. When you guys come in and say, hey, we have this problem, or especially in the Midtown area, we have a lot of these clubs just popping up. We didn't even know there's a club out here. So you guys make a huge difference when it comes to that we forward that part to our DRT, differential team within our department, within our station, that they go out there and see if the permits and all the other stuff down it. So if you guys have any issue that you think that there's nothing has been done, please come to a big meeting and express it to the commander and lieutenant. Using some of the assistant chief has done. We partner with other, especially this area, we partner with precinct 6 with a lot of the stuff that goes on this side. On the other side, 45 is precinct 7, so we team up with precinct 7. A lot of issues with Metro, because Metro was the one carried out here. So like I said, just feel free to come this every third Tuesday on that state change. For some reason, I know for COVID, that kept on changing, but I believe they're back to every third Tuesday of the month. That's awesome. Third Tuesday? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So. So. Did, was there any follow-up on the reported, I guess, information on the shooting? Everybody know what, he's talking about? This is one of those, fires. It's like, well, around, the discharge fire. It's a discharge fire, somebody made a video of it, or somebody captured a video of this, the gentleman was shooting in his backyard. You guys don't know, yes, you have right to have weapons, but you can't just discharge this because there's a lot of laws are in place for it. We got the video, they did go to the commander in our, the crime prevention, and my team and I were actually in charge of patrol part. So it's like there's a sergeant, there's a lieutenant, there's somebody for that part. So CFP, we all work together, but their job is look into this kind of stuff. And they call it back on us. So now we have a two-man unit set up just to deal with a lot of the stuff that needs to be followed up. And sergeant, we always monitor, okay, we had that come out of this neighborhood, with where we at. So if we haven't had another problem or any issue, I mean, we're actually doing pretty good. But thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for sending the video to the commander. If anything is said, it's gonna have feedback to it. If you guys don't send us anything, we're just not gonna know apart from what we know. I recently got some. It's I believe a few weeks ago, that on 31st.
I believe it was on the 31st of January.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, if you guys can make a quick meeting, definitely send an email to the commander and we'll figure it out to whatever part that we need to follow. But like I said, I'm our control, but we follow up on pretty much everything. Yes, sir. I think there's 2202 Cincinnati. It's a corner of Cincinnati. Yeah, great. All right. Right here. Yes, sir.
Send stuff to the email.
Yeah, so I'm not sure who's the main person in charge. They should have all the information to our updated commander and then whoever the lieutenant in charge of community part within our station. We have a department go up we have a division go up the department, but then South Central we have our own that we deal with second or third or anything has to do with our district. Then we don't deal with like big events, they always have a Hispanic History Month and Black History Month. So whatever is taken care of in our district, then our station does it, and then we partner up with like citywide others to come in and depending on the event. Sometimes it's a huge event. I know in the past we did sports giveaway at the Ripley House and some part of Third Ward, so we combined with everybody to help out for this huge event. So who's in charge of the commission, Paul? I should look, that's it, that every 50. Yes. Thanks, Paul. Anybody else? So I'll yes.
Just a quick one that I think is like I've heard a lot of neighbors talking about, just to put it on your team's radar.
Yes.
It seems like when the trains are coming to a complete stop, we're seeing a lot of folks that are moving through the neighborhood quickly, running stop sign, trying to like find the nearest opening to get around it.
Yes.
I'm curious if your department has put any sort of focus on if you notice and stuff, if there's any added enforcement on a traffic level for vehicles that can maybe supplement, making sure that people aren't kind of rocking through and still following the cop signs about traffic.
The only one I know are usually the leaders for Long Hill. Even if you're trying to go fast, those neighborhood streets are so small that I haven't heard anything about it, but I know we do have a song that's been going on for a very long time. The train just stops and stops forever. And what happens is anytime that happens, it does go off as a serious call for us. And we'll send a unit, we'll call the union trains or whatever trains is involved in it. And we usually call them and tell them that, you know, gotta keep it moving. So they have, I don't know if it's true or not, but they have their own rules that conductor who has been buying the train, and if it's coming to whatever hour, they're gonna stop it right there. And then it really makes it hard for a lot of, and the neighborhoods, now they're gonna go around, and sometimes there's no around, you know, stuff there. So, but thank you for bringing it up, I'll take it back and I'll let the commander know about if they heard anything, and if we did, you know, come on with a solution. But man, see, congratulations. Don't keep saying that, I'm really great. Congratulations, you work hard.
So before we speak to precinct 6, we'll go ahead and give Councilmember Joaquin Martinez a chance to say hello to everybody.
Good evening, and I big target, I just came from, I know the Park Civic Club, I'm doing my best to go to everybody's civic club. This year, make introductions, reintroductions, and introduce staff. I have Diane Williams here in the audience, I don't know if she's already.
She's
So
hello.
she's here, and I'll go briefly over kind of what staff is like, talk a little bit about what's been going on so far. So it's been 4 council meetings, but it's been a lot of work already been done, and then kind of what to expect in the next month or so. So my chief of staff, her name is Edith Santa Maria. Usually the way it works is first name dot last name at houstontx.gov. Email anybody, please. Then of course Diane Nguyen, she's my comms and engagement manager. I also have Christina Camarillo, who is my policy and agenda analyst. It's Christina Camarillo, and then I have Yaritza Vicera. She is my constituent service aide, and then part-time is Sally Medina, who's constituent service aide as well. So as I mentioned, it's been 4 weeks. All we've been doing right now during council is really just paying bills for the most part. Whether it's a project that is wrapped up, one that's about to get off the ground. And these are mostly been like, buying refuse carts, making sure we're buying lights, making sure that an older panel replacement project across the city is being paid for. And so we won't get a lot of work done really starting until probably early March. And I say that because we're waiting on the mayor to start giving assignments to committees. And so once that happens, we'll really get the ball rolling when it comes to getting some work done. There have been a couple of things that we've been able to do. Just right now, it's a 9% tax credit. I won't go too much into it just because it's in the hobby area, but just want to make sure y'all are aware. January is really busy with 9%, 4% tax credits, and essentially what that is it's affordable housing, and it's mixed rate housing is the way I like to kind of showcase it. It's whether it's 30% AMI, 60%, 80%. And then, it allows for folks to be able to, with different incomes, to be able to live in the same unit. It's really good development normally, and one that we're working on has a standalone pre-K3, pre-K4 through TEA as well. The one thing that everybody's been speaking about more recently is the Greyhound, issue challenge. I want to say that we kind of have our hands wrapped around it pretty well for the most part. Coming in, we had our first community meeting January 6th, packed house. We followed that up by a PIP meeting, which was January the 12th, maybe or so. And that was also a packed house. And just a kind of quick synopsis of what's happening there. We were not informed prior to the, to Greyhound coming in from the past administration. But what do? We've got to continue to move forward, make sure that we're doing whatever we can. My biggest priorities there have been public safety and quality of life. Public safety, we gave $60,000 to DRT, which is differential response team for East Side. And what they're focused on is not just boots on the ground and patrolling, but they're actually addressing nuisance properties. Some of y'all might know that there's a long John Silver that's probably had 2 fires already. So we're putting pressure on them through HPD, through habitability, which is through Public Works and Department of Neighborhoods. So we're combing Harrisburg and really making sure that we're addressing a lot of the city shells. In addition to that, we gave $30,000 for the homeless outreach team through HPD. I'll say this, I'll be upfront and honest. I appreciate everything HPD does, but I don't think that they want to be the first people to go and talk to the homeless, right? But this is our only avenue. It's a long, lengthy process.
You can't just go and say, hey, let me help you, you get a good trust. HPD does a really good job about doing that, but it also pulls them away from having to do other things that are more essential, more priority, driven issues. But we did get 30,000 for that, and so we're building relationships at the moment, making sure that we can help ultimately find, what ultimately solves homelessness is housing. And so once you do housing and you have wraparound services, then we really start seeing some changes. The other thing, and we're working really closely with the management district, is a civility ordinance. The civility ordinance right now is only in Midtown, downtown, and East Downtown. And essentially what it does is it allows for HPD to enforce folks from loitering from the hours of 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. And we're in the middle of that. We're working with the Constable Precinct 6 to do an interlocal agreement where they can actually enforce this city ordinance. Right now, there's some city ordinances that constables cannot enforce, but in this particular case, we're working to make sure that they can enforce the civility ordinance. And then one more thing, another tool that we're providing, and we've been helping and supporting the management district, is making sure that the businesses along the corridor and even residents start filling out a trespass affidavit. That trespass affidavit allows APD to enforce folks that are maybe loitering, or if they're not wanted on the property, that business can say, hey, we need to leave. So we're doing everything we can to make sure we stay in front of it. I personally have been around the Harrisburg corridor several times over the last month. Feel very good that it is not Midtown. That doesn't mean that we're going to kind of pick our foot off the pedal. We're going to make sure we stay focused on it, and we're going to make sure that those dollars are being utilized in a manner where we're seeing some results through HPD and again through some of the nuisance abatement that we're working on. I think that was probably the biggest hot topic more recently. What I'll say is, many of y'all know me, or probably emailed me over the last 10 years. I am working and trying to, my staff can say, hey, look, you can't take all these text messages anymore. You can't answer every email, and I'm trying my best. Actually, what I do is between the hours of like 8, 9 to me, y'all send me an email. That's when I'm answering emails now. But I have very good, confident, young, energetic staff ready to get to work. My staff are going to be more policy driven. As a district office, we usually get the call and we're like, hey, fix this water leak, pick up my trash, and I get that, and we still need to be able to show the result of that. But at the end of the day, we have the same issue continuously happen. Then we need to figure out what policy, what ordinance needs to change. And I've tasked my staff, of course, myself working at the city for the last 10 years, is can we do things differently? Why do we gotta continue to do things the same way? The city has grown exponentially, over 2 million folks, new number of housing units going up. We cannot have the same solid waste pickup. We just passed an ordinance that we bought several refuse carts, recycled and your trash cans, because we're looking at an increase of about 17,000 residents in the city of Houston. Where they're at, it doesn't matter, because if they're laid in the northwest, then they're going to be laid in the southeast. If they're laid in the southeast, everything is connected in that sense. And so just really want to make sure that y'all know that if y'all have any ideas of or any best practices that y'all probably seen in other cities, major cities, please share that with us. We're working really closely, of course, with the Trains Committee. Of course, the sidewalks committee as well. We want to make sure that it is a safe place as well for the community. And in addition to that, making sure that folks that have grown up in the area can stay in the area as well. So all that, a lot of work, but I'm excited. I'm happy to continue serving you all. And again, please know that I'm going to do my best to stay as accessible to you all, as long as my staff allow me to. I was told not to give myself phone out anymore. So I'm not going to give myself phone out. If you have it, you have it. If you don't, you can email Diane. But with that, I'll open it up for any questions or comments. And yes, ladies first.
It's been like 20 years. They have not, I called them, I remember working that night, and my mom woke me up, and the city broke the cement in front of my house. And I called them, and the first thing they tell me is, what's the number of the truck that broke it? I said, hi, how can I know? They woke me up, so I'm calling you. So For the 20 years I have lived there, they have not fixed it. And
And,
she knows if the water, when it rains a lot, it stays there for a long time, and you get the mosquitoes and stuff like that. I don't know.
so let's find another way then, right? 20 years ago, I was
I know.
22, 23 years old, and so,
But I see,
yeah.
can you find a way?
Yeah, let us look for another way. If water's ponding, then let us work through that avenue. I think we might be able to find a certain, we need your address, of course. We need, if there's any 311s, just to, have some documentation would be helpful as well. But if you can work with Diane, like I said, we'll definitely, where there's a will, there's a way. And so allow us an opportunity to kind of look through that.
We're gonna go through 311 too.
Because I think you can get back and some of them, and they might trip or that kind of thing.
Yeah, no, if we can get it addressed, we will work hard to get it addressed. Yes, sir.
Hi, everybody, I'm Joseph. My question to you is two-part. One is, what's the feeling of these 2 meetings you did with the railroad, with the bus? Are they favoring the bus station or are they not? The second question is about water bills that are excessive. The mayor came out with a small comment about, he was gonna do something. What does do something mean according to what they're?
Yeah, so the first question about the Greyhound meeting, both of them, they were pretty packed. I think it was standing room only for both of them. I guess the temperament from the community was we don't want. It's understandable, especially if you compare it to what was at Midtown. I don't think anybody wants Midtown. My philosophy, the way I like to work is more information, being transparent, being honest. It's not the answer you like, but being honest is important. And I think those are 2 great opportunities for folks to be heard. I know sometimes folks want to get the mic and speak, but I think everybody had a good amount of time, and I think the questions that were being asked in the comment cards they covered every aspect of it. How many routes, what does security look like, what does traffic look like? So we covered every aspect of it. The first one, which was, you had everybody there. You had the congresswoman, so DC shut down, right? You had the state senator and the state rep, so Austin was shut down, everybody was here. County commissioner was there. You had, the constable was there. You had HPD was there. TDCJ was there, which is another important aspect that I'm more concerned about as well. So you had everybody that was there that could answer questions. The second one was it was a PIG meeting, a positive interaction program meeting, which is every month. They have it at the east side. And it was more law enforcement. Chief Finn was there, and I say his name because Mayor Whitmire is aware of it. I've been in communication with him about my concerns, what my priorities are for Greyhound, and for Chief Finn to be there to show that, you know what, HPD's eyes are on it. Brought some comfort. Again, I don't think we need to get our foot off the pedal. We need to continue to stay, addressing whatever concerns of Paul, even if it's a non-emergency call. Y'all probably heard of a report where crime has increased 300%. It's alarming, but when you look at how many incidents were the year before and now, it was like 3 or 4, and it went up to like 9 or 10. And not only that, but I think some of that has to do because there were non-violent crimes that also went up, and that's, there was where folks were panhandling and aggressive panhandling. So it's not anything that was like which definitely don't want to see anybody die or anything to that extent. So there was more calls, and I'm okay if quote unquote crime goes up because of calls. The more calls you all make, the better that HPD and constables can do their job as well. When it comes to the water bills, so before Mayor Turner stepped out of office, there was 3 council members that wanted to present an ordinance after Proposition 8 was passed. Turner took that opportunity to say, hey, I'll fix it. And so he changed the ordinance to some extent. Some of the feedback that we got is that it doesn't do anything kind of on the back end, like if you've had a long standing bill. I think our staff just reported today, we were able to help somebody with a $700 water bill. So I think in those cases, just like anything, the more that we know from our office, the more we're able to, have those conversations with Public Works. And if for whatever reason we kind of bump it up to the mayor's office, and we're more than happy to do that. I'll just end with this. I think I'm one of the few councilors that have a really good relationship with the mayor. I'm trying to make sure I cultivate that and keep it close and keep him happy as best as possible as well, because whatever I can do to ensure that District I and District I residents can benefit from that relationship, that's my goal.
Follow up is, did TSA meet with the the Greyhound people?
TDCJ?
No,
TSA?
TSA, they're supposed to be stationed here because of cross state.
TSA was not there.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking.
Yes, sir.
Been a couple of years now, we try to talk to somebody or meet with somebody or talk, have some conversation.
Yes, sir.
With somebody at the water department.
Okay.
And on leaving, a place like Fort Knox, they even got a guard there. Keep you out. And I'm wondering if that has changed, is that gonna change? Mayor Turner even talked, I think, about some transparency where this is concerned. And it's pretty frustrating, you send in a complaint to them, and half the time you get no response other than your complaint was received, but no answer, no real answer.
So-
And you can't talk to anybody. That's one of the few places that I've ever, and I'm up in years, I've been a lot of places. That's one of the few places I've ever seen that's supposed to be a public service.
Yeah.
You can't even see the people and they're locked behind closed doors with a guard.
Yeah, so give us an opportunity to do that for you as well, if you don't mind. Communicate with my office, let my team get on it, and let's see what we can do to help you, please. And I don't know about the armed guard, I don't know why there's an armed guard there. I think it was it used to be a bank.
Because people get upset about their water bills.
Yeah.
Raise hell. So they have a guard there to run them out of the building.
So if there's a water bill issue, please call 311 so it's documented, but then call our office, please. Give us an opportunity to help address that.
I have a second.
Yes, sir.
Regarding the bus station,
Yes, sir.
for years, myself and other people that I've talked with have a very low view of safety around bus terminals, bus stations that do intercity and interstate travel. And I witnessed some of that because all you gotta do is drive by there a lot of the time, and there's people hanging out there that I don't wanna be around.
Yeah.
And that's part of the concern for having a bus station where they're talking about putting one now. And I would like to know if that impression of that general vicinity is accurate based on complaints and arrests and all of those kinds of things.
So there have been more calls, they're not violent crime calls. I've camped out there a couple times to kind of see what happens. It's been relatively quiet. When I've been there, you have folks that are getting there. I personally feel that the location isn't suited for that because you have one lane Harrisburg as you exit. So whether it's Uber or Lyft, whatever rideshare it is that, or a family member that's picking up someone, they park on Harrisburg, so it's not helpful. As far as congregation, there's space for folks to park there inside of the facility. I don't know what the capacity is essentially, right? Ideally, what I would like to see happen, right, is a transportation hub for buses somewhere in the city, something situated like an airport where you have plenty of space, plenty of restrooms, plenty of restaurants, whatever it might be. So that way, I think Eastwood has a really good amount of bus stops, bus terminals in the neighborhood, right? And I think it'll be helpful to be able to congregate as many of those buses in one location in the city. But I think ultimately, I don't think the perception that people thought it was gonna be, it's fully there. I really do not believe that. And it's been helpful that HPD and Constable have been working really hard to make sure that it's safe, as safe as possible. Yes, ma'am.
Now, just kind of piggybacking on Michael's deal there too. So is it true though that that station is becoming a transport for the,
TDCJ.
you're right,
Yeah.
getting off the station
It
and
is.
getting the packet, and that's why they're
It is. So the Midtown location, all of their operations are now at the Harrisburg line. Just some background. The Harrisburg terminal, bus terminal, has been there in operation for about 10 years. What changed now is that the Midtown operations are now there at Harrisburg. And part of those operations, TDCJ was being dropped off at Midtown, so now they're getting dropped off there on Harrisburg.
now is it because of the the halfway houses that are right
It's
there?
not because of that, it's because Greyhound is the one that is working closely with TDCJ. What I will say though is that your state representative, I don't know, Christina Morales is working alongside, State Representative Ana Hernandez, and of course, your Senator Carol Alvarado, they're at the state level, and I'm leaning on them. Right, I think at the end of the day, we need to make sure we're, whose jurisdiction can help move. And I'm going to lean on our state reps and our state senator to ensure that TDCJ is following whatever protocols that they need to follow, or they should follow. At the meeting that we had at January 6th, what was shared with us is that they normally start their release process 6 months prior to them actually leaving the jail. And they don't release to homelessness. How true that is, I do not know. And so, you know, Ana Hernandez specifically has been really the one leading the charge with TDCJ, getting more information. We have not had an update meeting from her more recently, but it is a concern. I think that's probably aside from, you know, homelessness, I get it. That's a tough issue just across the city, right? It's like an onion, you peel it and you gotta keep on peeling and keep on peeling. There's mental health issues, there's drug addiction, and there needs to be a way where you address it, and honestly, it's housing. But when you start to get at TDCJ, and even then, trying to understand what way compassionate can you address that? And I say that because personally, I had an older brother that was in penitentiary for 6 years. He came out and he ended up being a very good citizen. He was a baseball coach. So what is reentry look like, right, for people that come out of jail? At the end of the day, they need to come out and they need to become back acclimated to society. And if we continue to, you know, kind of that's them, then we're not helping them out, we're not helping ourselves out. And so in saying that, I'm very much focused on what can the state do, whether it's funding for mental health, whether it's funding for workforce development, whether it's funding for housing. They need to step up in order to make sure that TDCJ really release to make sure that they're not being homeless at the end of the day. Because you know, they're gonna be in Houston no matter what, right? And so we really need to figure out those systems that are at that state level that can help address some of these local issues. At the end of the day, the city is your police, fire, water service, trash service. There's basic service, city services that we're supposed to provide. We take on everything because we're not here in the city of Houston, whether it's flooding, whether it's homelessness. But at the end of the day, there's other folks that need to be stepping in, whether it's at the federal level, the state level, or the county.
And I appreciate that. I'm a realtor, and so I know a lot of my customers who were thinking, especially because I'm a local realtor and been here forever. And so now because of that and that whole, you know, that shebang.
Yeah.
So now they're like reluctant to coming into our area, you know.
So then let us be the positive voice, right? Say that, look, and I'm sharing with you all, I've already been in front of Greyhound, and I've been there for an hour at a time. It is not Midtown. So let's not jump into those fears and say, yeah, it is bad. Go out there and see it as well. Know that we've given $90,000 to public safety. Public safety is priority. And then in addition to that, the quality of life around it. As Magnolia Park, my dad grew up in Magnolia Park, he was born and raised in that area. I have a passion for that area as well. So there's other things. And so what I would ask of you is, you know, don't give in to those fears. There are some things that there's challenges across the city, but we need to really step out of this space of like fear and oh, this bad and this let us as a neighborhood make sure that we're taking care of our part. And I have another event, so Diane is here. Please email her, Diane, Diane.win@UTS. And I'll leave with this. I know several times whenever there's hot topics, sometimes it was difficult to have the council member here. Know that I will not leave my staff here alone to take any of those errands. I will be here. But in addition to that, when we're celebrating, one of the first will be here too. Just want to say thank you for being engaged and know that we're here to serve you.
Thank you.
Sure.
You guys, you still need us? Or, okay, because I know you guys gonna start talking. But if whenever you do send an email out and Cause we just rotate, it's all just let me know when your next meeting, let the South Central know, so
Got it.
let me know.
Cool.
Oh,
Sounds good.
thank you.
All right, cool. So I see we have precinct 6 here. If you would please come up here to the precinct 6 side, see you guys back there. Come on up. We're gonna continue with our safety update. But if you would come to the microphone so that our friends on Zoom can hear you. Or at least close by.
So, my name is Lieutenant Gomez. I'm over the patrol division. I'm just transitioning, I'm coming over from the task force. The Viper was actually the violent person task force. So I'm kind of getting back on the patrol side. A little bit about that task force. It's a multi-agency. The constables and the sheriff department working along each other. The only constables officers that are currently not participating is precinct 4 and precinct 7. I think we have 23, if I'm not mistaken. All combined, deputies, sergeants, 1 lieutenant and 1 captain from the constable side and the sheriff's side. So that's a little bit where I come from. Again, I just promoted on August, so transitioning to the patrol side now. So that's a little bit about myself. I've been with the agency for going on 12 years. 12 years.
I'm Sergeant Scott Lopez, and I'm the patrol division, 2 to 10, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. So you guys will see me out here. And then if anybody has any questions, just feel free to reach out. I've been here for the agency for 7 years.
I'm Deputy Gonzalez, I'm the Eastwood Patrol Division. I'm also 2 to 10, and I've been with the agency for 2 years.
How's it going? I'm Sergeant Mata. I'm currently with the criminal investigation division, also we're on the morning shift patrol division, in morning shift patrol, also the morning shift in 6 2, and I'm with the agency probably.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joel Anise. I'm the assistant chief with Constable Philip Dorino's office. Part of the team right here. Super excited to have Gomez back, Lieutenant Gomez from Viper. He's now back at here with Precinct 6. I've been with the constable's office a little bit over 30 years. I grew up in the East End. My dad still stays in the East End. Any questions y'all might have for us?
I just have a comment. I just wanted to say that I really appreciate the vacation watch service that you have, and just in case people didn't know, right on their website, there's a vacation watch request, putting when you're really out of town. And my neighbors say that people have gone by, patrol, and so I'm really grateful for that, and just want to say thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we are 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 days. We do have a vacation watch, we have patrol requests, and we are located at 5900 now. Anytime you don't want to call or email, you're welcome to come by to the business house and talk to one of our managers, supervisors, or tour or talk about anything that you have concerns that you want to discuss, you want to discuss privately. We do work real close with Commander work with Gwen out of Central. Back in December, we're real close with the East Side also, Commander Coleman. So we have a good relationship with the Houston Police Department as well, working together on this Greyhound as well. Anything else that y'all might want to about me? Yes.
I just have another comment.
Absolutely.
I don't know what the neighbor's experience has been, but if I call HPD versus if I call Precinct 6, Precinct 6 has been much more responsive to the neighborhood. There was one case my friend found in an accident like 3 blocks from my house and wanted to call for some help. Precinct 6 was there in like 10 minutes. HPD showed up 2 hours. So just shows you the realm of what the response looks like. And I just want to say as a resident, like I really appreciate how responsive y'all have been in not just that case, but other cases as well. So I appreciate that.
Awesome. That's good to hear. That's good to hear. And just a little bit about that. Our constable, when she took office, what she did is our precinct, she divided it into 4 districts. It was in 3 districts. She made the district, she added a district to make the district smaller, to make the officers that work that district improve on their response time. So instead of going from District 1 to District 2, now there's officers in each district, and they're smaller to improve that response time. That's how you're getting that 2 to 5 minutes. Yes, sir.
Two-part question.
Yes, sir.
My understanding is it's illegal to discharge firearms
That's right.
and shoot fireworks in city limits.
That's right.
Is there any effort to squeeze down on that at all? Every holiday, Eastwood sounds like a war zone. And I have talked face to face with HPD officers in the neighborhood while it was going on, and they essentially told me they would help us to do anything about it. So I want to know if there is any effort to do anything about it, and if so, what is it? So normally what I referred over in those situations, especially on the events, you just call it right away. Call us immediately. If you can pinpoint the area where it's happening, definitely that will help. A lot of times what's happening is they charge of a weapon. They'll say, hey, it's around the area. I mean, it's gonna be hard whenever we go and find somewhere in the backyard actually doing it. But if you can pinpoint, sometimes cameras and whatnot, that will help us out a lot. I know HPD also has certain equipment to detect gunshots areas, and they're working on that. But as far as us for precinct 6, definitely you can pinpoint where is it coming from or their general area. We'll be more than happy to make contact with those individuals and handle it appropriately. I understand the problem with firearms. Yes, they can shoot a gun and go back in the house. Right. But in the middle of a holiday, when rockets are flaring and you got the big boom in the sky and you can see where they're coming from, I don't see the difficulty in pinching down on that. And like I said, in those circumstances, definitely give us a call. If it's happening in your street, in your neighborhood, we're more than happy to pinpoint that area and go and pretty much take the proper action when we contact with those individuals.
But definitely don't get discouraged from calling. Please call.
Yes.
Super important. I'm sorry, question about that?
Yeah, it's more of a clarification. What is recommended to call city, is the police department or you all? Last week, I think we had a burglary in our house, and we called the police department.
You call 911?
Yes,
Okay.
and just wondering what's best.
Go ahead.
Normally, I recommend to call both agencies. There's nothing wrong with that. Call our number, non-emergency number, and also dial 911 if it's an emergency. Whoever gets there, whoever responds, they'll handle it. But definitely call both agencies. Chief.
So the 911 doesn't go straight to us. The 911 goes straight to HPD. And then, so we call a number, 713-274-3041. That one goes directly to us. Mhm. I have one. Yes, somebody else.
Yes.
Again, my name's Joseph.
Hey, Joe.
Can you describe how these detectors that read your license plate, how does that function to the authorities like you guys, that the HPD, or you don't share the information?
The license plate readers. Flock. Well, they have the flock and they have the license plate readers. Familiar with the license plate readers?
So basically, we're currently working with HPD, so we can share that. So it's a system that Lieutenant Sim is currently working, Captain.
Sorry, there's Captain Monroe.
I deal with the technology side. But yeah, on the question that you asked, we are in the process of working with the city and sharing all the data. That's an issue that we've been having for years. So the new mayor has made an initiative to get all this together. But the camera system, there are different companies, like a vendor company that deals with this. And what they do is, for law enforcement, they give us access to that system, and then we're able to tap into the system. And whenever the license plate reads, the license plate shoots so many license plates at the same time, we have a back-end system that give us that information, and at the same time, we run that plate to see if the plate is stolen. But we do want to get one system that the city and the county will be together, and you can able to get more accurate numbers, and we'll be able to pinpoint a lot more vehicles.
What's your name?
Monterosa.
Motor vehicle, does it only read license plate for? The person driving it? Did it also report the person driving it?
At this time, though, as far as I know, we do not have the facial recognition yet, but it is coming in the near future. So that's something that is gonna be working, but again, some people are with it and some people are against it, so that's something that it's gonna be a little bit more challenging.
Yes, ma'am.
About traffic sort of things. I just noticed some running red lights and running stop signs. And it's just been going up and up. Maybe it's just anecdotally for me, but I've heard the same a lot. Like, what is being done for something like that? Some of the major or near schools.
There's two things two parts of that. We have, traffic enforcement units that usually work our school zones and they do accidents and they try certain areas that are called in or they are known to be where speeders are at. So that's one, those units, they take everything else, but they specialize more on traffic initiative. So that's one. And then another, I think the mayor has just came up with a new program of BPS, that traffic initiative. Two of our deputies, I think, Sergeant Sheldon Reed and Deputy Kuna came under this. And what the mayor did is for Chief Fitter, they put a task force and for traffic initiative only. So we did, what was it, a week or two ago, at Southwest area, EPS, Metro, HPD, Constable's office, from various constables. We sent two officers out for two deputies, and they did a traffic initiative. That's what they're gonna start doing, moving around the city to start targeting, because they're aware of this problem.
And the big issue now is, remember, the shortage of police officers nationwide. So now, instead of being proactive and stopping when you run a red light, the officers probably responding to a code 1 or code 2. So in that situation, that's why you probably have seen a reduction of a lot more traffic stops, because the shortage of the manpower taking out the traffic calls.
And so they did this group effort between, multiple law enforcement agencies, and I think just our office ourselves, I think, remember the numbers?
Right, we had, 9 traffic stops, overall between one of our sergeants and one of our deputies. 4 warnings, 2 citations, 1 DWRS. And that was just amongst us. From my understanding, it was 34 different law enforcement agencies that are participating in this group. And of course, they're gonna be moving from different locations, but that's just basically a city, that basically is just a combined effort overall. So I think this one was in the 59 area. There's a couple of more meetings coming up, and that's pretty much when we kind of get more information regarding that. Yes, sir.
I guess it's a related question. I don't know if it's anybody that has kids at land trip, but every day around 3 o'clock, parents along the cave, and basically it makes it very difficult for 2 cars to get by and they're constantly in traffic jams. And there's parking signs all along there. They just camp out for an hour and a half, and it's blocks traffic. Why is that? Just like, yeah, that's cool. We do that because we're kids, and that seems to be like they're opening breaking a lot.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, do you want to add something? No, okay.
I can answer.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Paul. You got, Sullivan over there, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to, and I'll recap on whatever you got.
HISBPD, Captain Garner, Chief Garner. I spoke to her in the summer, and they've, previously HISBPD could not write tickets for parking. They've actually looked into the code. I showed her where she could do that, and they can do that. So, I can give you a company.
I mean, it's not a huge feat, I just think that it was just a problem trying to provide them convenience, but if they trucks that aren't supposed to be using it, then.
Oh, may not have a HSD officer, or you can talk to them at Park Med.
Yeah, I would have, but thank you.
No, it's revenue generated. Sure. And Chief Gardner, he's retired HPD officer, just took chief position, I think, last year. I've got a chance to meet her and work with her as well. I've been out to a couple of other schools where there's big issues like that, and they have changed the system as far as dismissal. When you try to dismiss 600, 800, 1,000 kids at one time between buses and small block area, it's just chaotic. So what they started to do, I say, have different disabilities. They do the first, the kindergarten, a certain amount, get them out, and parents. If the school doesn't have a good system, it can be chaotic. And then the areas is, the streets are pretty narrow. Yeah. So maybe it's something that we could, help or make suggestions or recommendations, and I think it's, I'd love to talk to them and see what I can help with.
I saw this the other day, start turning off of, back, the city on, and it got stuck, and it was nuts, because they couldn't turn it on.
The streets are very narrow.
Yeah, and it says no parking, the parents are just,
They don't pick up their kids.
yeah.
And I think the information from, Chief Gardner, we did have to do something, good to have for students, yeah. I mean, I think they,
Well, with that kid.
here,
that
also on Lonzo, yes, that's a little bit bigger school. Some of the high schools, they have 2,500 to 3,000 students, so it can be very chaotic. My understanding is that the majority of the high schools have offices there.
Yeah, I mean, they're not illegally parking. That's the problem. You have to stand out for something now.
Well, oh,
There are ways of mitigating speeding through the neighborhood when trains are sitting on the tracks on Matt Russ and Lockwood. And
around.
for people to try to drive through the neighborhood, trying to walk my dog, or if you're walking into dangerous. I'm curious if there's any measure that can take to mitigate that.
if you don't mind, we actually have an update in here sort of about that.
Oh, okay.
The Easton District is going to be calling for volunteers to study areas around here. So if you might want to be a part of that, you can be a part of that. So, so we might be able to answer some of this, and we actually have a pretty big update and a lot to cover. So, we might be including some of that in our next area.
So there's our phone number, our website. If you go to Harris County Council Call Precinct 6, you'll find the link for extra patrol, vacation watch. There's a phone number, and definitely contacts. Any of those emails will reach the commanders. So if you want to make an appointment, just come on by, and we'll be glad to talk to you about any concerns or additional concerns. And thank you so much for having us
Yeah.
here.
Our next meeting's on March 4th. Come on back out.
Nice to meet you. Got it.
Good to see you. All right, so Kalani, you're gonna come up and do a quick treasurer's report?
Nice group here. Thank you so very much for everyone coming. Anyway, our treasurer's report currently right now is $27,978.71. And this includes everything that we've accounted for, from paying our bills and things of that nature, and home tour and things of that nature too. Thank you.
All right. We have our secretary's report. So Kyle is going to wrap up with our November report, and then Everett is going to come up and take care of December, if I'm not mistaken. So.
Is it this one?
Yeah.
Yes, I am the former secretary.
Sure.
We did not get to this part of the meeting in December because it was we had an election and went really long. Anyway, I'll be quick about this. So November's meeting, we had some intros, a metro update, updates from our elected officials. Carol Alvarado was here, Judith Cruz was here, who is no longer with HISD. Councilman Gallegos was here, and then we had nominations for the board of directors. Then we presented a number of bylaw changes, which would subsequently pass in the next meeting. We had our regular reports, and that was pretty much it. And that is the November meeting minutes. And I am no longer secretary. Before I pass it to Everett, who is the new secretary, I just wanted to say thank you to Danielle. If some background from our last year, we changed the bylaws a couple years ago to make the officers 2-year positions, and then our president and the vice president subsequently stepped down in the same month. We had to look kind of deep to find out what happens after that. Anyway, she stepped in and basically did 2 whole years after not stepping up for the job in the first place. So she is no longer president, but she did a great job, and I just wanted to thank her. Everett, take her away.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a second. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We are gonna come back to December,
Let me yes.
just for a second.
Yes.
So we're gonna go through just some of the president updates. So I did kind of want to echo the thank you to Danielle and to the 2023 board. We accomplished quite a bit in 2023. A lot happened behind the scenes. We did a lot of really neat updates, but maybe y'all may not have seen. I know trains was really effective, and we did some things that were just going to make things very helpful for our future. A lot of templates, a lot of back end work that maybe y'all hadn't seen. I did have a Greyhound update, but Councilmember Martinez took care of a lot of that for me, so maybe not need to go through some of that. We also have an East End rail safety street study, which I mentioned before. As you know, I work with the East End Rail Safety Task Force and also the East End Pedestrian Safety Task Force. So we want to make sure that we are trying to make our streets safer. And there is a call for volunteers to work with Texas A&M on a study to improve our streets. And part of this is included in that. We're also going to kind of talk through the importance of reporting on 311 and reporting trains. So that's probably going to help you just a smidge, just to start to get some documentation on where you're seeing that problem with the water that's pooling in front of your house. So get a little bit of that. And then some updates from our board retreat updates. So event dates, 2024 meetings, committees, priorities for 2024. So some of these, I don't have to read all of this to you, but I was a part of the East Side PIT meeting, and we went to the Eastern Communities meeting. Councilmember Joaquin Martinez went through pretty much everything I had here. So I don't need to recite everything that he has already said. The one thing I did put down is that Greyhound has committed to going to the East Side PIT meetings. And the next meeting that they have is on February 19th at 6:30 at 7575 Sherman. So if that is something you are interested in going to and just hearing, so they claim that they're going to have a Greyhound representative there every time. I plan on going. So if you want to meet me there and hang out with me, I'm glad to have a friend. So if you want to go, happy to have you there. And I know that Sarah and I are going to go to the South Central PIT meeting next week. So we're going to be hanging that. We'll get to that in just a little bit.
Can you repeat that again, the address?
Yes, it's 7575 Sherman Street, 77012. And that's February 19th at 6:30 p.m.
Church or something?
No, it's actually at their substation, HPD substation. So that's their claim. They're committed to being there.
7575.
Sherman, yeah. So happy to send this out if you want to read through this, but Councilmember Martinez already went through all of this with us. The Eastern Rail Safety Task Force, we were allocated quite a bit of dollars to do several different studies, which we're working with Texas A&M, University of Houston, Kinder Foundation, everybody to study just the East End. In order to do this, we work with these universities to get these studies in place so that we can generate a safety action plan to get around the trains, right? So what we want to do is we need 5 volunteers to assist with this study. So you are going to be required to participate with evening calls with the East End District and members of the Trains Committee. That's me and Clay and a few others. So if you are interested in participating, let Clay know, and we'll be able to get you started in participating in that. So something that I did learn in both of those meetings is that the East End is heavily underreported when it comes to 311. And I know it seems like it's a nuisance to have to report on 311. I get it. But what I have found is that when you start to document these metrics, it makes it much more difficult to deny that there's issues, right? And so I've been working with the Department of Neighborhoods, and they are saying, we can't help you if we don't show that there's a problem, right? So if you're able to download the 311 app on your phone, you can take a picture of a problem and report that there's issues. And every single day I walk my dog and I find something new to report just to show that there are problems in our area. So I highly suggest that if you can find something to report. So things that you can report are your missed recycling. So there was a time last week when we had like several weeks of missed recycling. I reported it every single time. I went down every single one of our streets and I reported that every street had a missed recycling because it wasn't fair that our entire neighborhood was missed. I did that every single week. Illegal dumping. Some of our streets had just heavy amounts of lots with just tires. I did as many streets as I could find. Broken water mains. So anytime you see pooling water, we shouldn't have any of that. Potholes. Supposedly the potholes are fixed really quick. So if you find a pothole, take a picture, report it on 311. Drainage problems, same thing. So I would say anytime you're out walking your dog, you're out on an evening walk, find something that just doesn't look right, report it on there. Water bills, anytime you can do that, just start to document these things. You can report things anonymously. I would say just have a little empathy with your neighbors, especially if you have an elderly neighbor. Just have a little empathy. Maybe just stick to things that the city can address. I try to do that myself, but you can report a lot of different things. And I would suggest start to do those things just to keep our numbers up and just to start to get those resources allocated to us. So it's really easy. Took a screenshot. You can just take a picture. It pulls in your location. You just punch in all the buttons and it's very, very easy to do. And I've been working with Jesse Carballo. Apparently he's the one who gets all these reports and I've been harassing him about this. So I'm good at being the squeaky wheel. So please be the squeaky wheel with me so that we can get some things going on in our neighborhood. Yeah.
Just if you don't think, if you don't have the phone, if you don't have internet access, you can actually dial 311.
You can.
Their response times are a lot faster than they used to be.
Yes. They have made substantial improvements to this 311 system. So I highly suggest if you don't have, if you want to be able to call, you can certainly call, but if you have a smartphone, download the app, take a picture. Trust me, I've been doing this for a while now and we're getting some movement. So it's great. So the one thing I'm on a one-woman mission here about these trains. All right. So reporting the train blockages to the FRA, directly to the FRA, not the blue signs. Okay. So the FRA, the link is down here, fra.dot.gov/blocked crossings. You can just Google blocked crossings FRA and it'll come up. This is how easy it is to report these. It will pull your location. You just find your crossing, you tap it, and then you just punch the little buttons. So what this does is this keeps the attention on the East End because it will help the FRA show and keep the railroads accountable to what is going on in the East End because we all know that there is a problem. And if we can't have these numbers to help our elected officials, we can't get the help that we need, right? So if we know that there's a problem, but we're not reporting it, we can't get that assistance from our elected officials. So help them help us and report as you get it. Now, safely get home first. Please you can report up to the last 7 days. So if you need to get home safely, please get home safely, but you can report as soon as you get home. And something you can also, if you want to see, I know this is a bad graph, but you see that really tall number in the middle? That's Texas. And I'm gonna tell you right now, 2/3 of those are the East End. And that's not even including most of y'all. So if we can just keep that attention on the FRA, we're going to keep 2 inspectors here in Houston. Let's keep it that way so that we can keep the FRA administrators' eyes on us.
They, publish the data.
You can go on the site now.
Okay.
And you can actually just pull. I just took a screenshot last night of the last 12 months. So you can see it. So before we move on, did you?
Yeah, I'm good, sorry.
Okay, we're gonna go back real quick to our December minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pull it up real quick. All right, good evening, everyone. I'm Ever Hernandez. I am the new secretary, and I appreciate you guys coming over tonight. So for the December report, we did we did have Kat Degan and Kelvin Beltran coming over to introduce themselves, and also to we have home tour finalized, and we wanted to we had our donation check presentation. We also had the vote for the changes on the ECA bylaws. We did have our board of directors elections. We also had an update presentation from the train committee by our current president. And we also had there was one more, okay. Metro BRT update, and that was pretty much it. All right, thank you.
All right. So our association known events, which we'll get to in just a second, we've got Thursday, April 25th is our spring fiesta. October 1st is our national night out. And October 19th and 20th is our annual historic home tour. So those are the things that we do know about for sure. But we may have some more things coming. We've got our meeting schedule already set. So you'll be able to see those on social media now. But if you want to take a screenshot or you just want to know what's going on, take a picture. We have our meeting schedule, but they are on the first Monday of the month, except for September. It's going to be on the second Monday of the month. And then we didn't have one in January because of our board retreat. April is our spring fiesta. We take a break in July, and then October we substitute for National Night Out. So at the beginning of each year, we have our board retreat, which is where we determine our priorities for 2024, and then we outline, which committees we need to achieve those goals. So what we did was we started to establish our committees, and one of the first committees we created is a new committee. It's called Special Events. And the chair is Danielle. It's going to be really fun. And the current members are Aaron, Clay, Polani, Thomas, Sarah, and Catherine. And the purpose of this committee is to plan fun events to foster community engagement. And so what we want to do is hear from our members on what you want to see. So some of the ideas that have been floating around are a Halloween block party. We learned that we can close streets. The host may be like children being able to play in the streets for Halloween and do trick-or-treating, which seems really fun. Maybe a big dog walk. The Greater Eastwood Dog Walk seems like a fun idea. We've also seen that Santa may be able to drive through on Christmas, something like that, or an Easter egg hunt. So just tell us what you want to see as part of the community, and we can work with you on what that could look like. So we also have our communications committee, and the purpose of this communication committee is to manage all communications via channels. Kyle has been running this committee for some time, but he's going to be co-chairing it with Catherine. Our current members include our 2 co-chairs along with Matthew, Everett, and Clay. But we also want to include up to 5 non-board members who may join. And if you want to join, you can join via this link, or you can scan this QR code. So this is something, if you want to join, you may certainly do that. And I'll also share this QR code at the end. We have the trains committee. So the trains committee I have been chairing since I crashed the board meeting years ago. We have Danielle, Clay, Paulette, Wilson, Kyle, and Sarah. We advocate for improved interaction between freight trains and the community. We already have Paulette and Wilson already on here, so we can have up to 3 more non-board members may join. If you do want to join, you can certainly go through the link, scan the QR code, and join on in. We'll probably have an introduction to that because it is a lot to take in for that trains committee, but welcome to have you. We also have home tour. Home tour is one of our biggest events of the year, and they need a lot of volunteers to plan and run this. So you can have, it is run by Aaron, and Matthew is going to help run this one this year. So we also have Polani, Clay, and Thomas who are currently on this. So they plan, coordinate, and execute the biggest and most celebrated event in the Eastwood community, our 26th annual home tour. Up to 10 non-board board members may join. Same thing, if you want to join, feel free to scan the QR code or go and type in that link. I'm pretty sure that if they if more than 10 join in, they'll probably let you in. This is a big event, and I know that they can get all of the help that they need. And safety is a new one. This is one I think that we talked about on the board that was probably needed at this point. Sarah and I are going to start this one together. Currently, we are accepting new members. One of the things that we're doing is not only creating a better relationship with HPD and Precinct 6, but we're also going to start with partnering with Easton District and other organizations to improve the quality of life, such as green space, access, vehicular and pedestrian opportunities, transit opportunities, and animal welfare. So I know that some of the things that we've seen, I know Sarah unfortunately had many dog attacks on her street. So things like, how do we improve something like that? What can we do with neighbors about this? And then how can we improve things like, I know that some of the things on the pedestrian safety task force is the railroads are working to pitch in on metered crosswalks and things like that. So how do we incorporate this into our conversations? And how do we improve our community this way? So part of that is going to the PIT meetings, and we're going to start that. So if you want to join our committee, I know one person way back there that I've been recruiting for all day. So, so I definitely want Paul on this one, but we would love to have more members on the committee. If you want to join, feel free to scan our QR code and let us know. We'll be glad to have you. We'll get y'all going. And the one thing we are changing up a little is we are changing the BRT side is we're not going to have a special BRT advocacy specific committee, is we're going to have a liaison on this one. So Matthew is going to be the main point, who's going to have assistance with Clay. And we're going to be coordinating with Metro as the Eastwood Civic Association main point of contact. And he's going to be providing updates each month as the project moves forward. So if you have questions or concerns, you'll be working with Matt on those as the project moves forward. But what we do have is, so what he's going to be doing is following the project's progress, communicate updates, providing updates in layperson terms, because unfortunately Metro does not always do that, and hold Metro accountable to the promises that they made to us with things like no overpass, project within the existing right-of-way, and investments to make the project fit within the character of the neighborhood, and show the community ways to express opinions directly to Metro and to elected officials. So I know that that's something Clay and I've been kind of tag teaming. I'm not as versed in Metro as Matthew and Clay are, so you probably don't want me on that one. This is Clay, I don't know if you want to come and speak to this one, but this is the last update that we received from Metro in January 18th, 24, the Capital and Strategic Initiatives meeting. So we were listening in on that one. They are continuing to investigate the feasibility of an all-traffic underpass that would meet the 100-foot right-of-way, which means no property acquisitions, a utility relocation. So they may have to remove utility poles, stormwater sent to Buffalo Bayou, so no detention pond. And Metro board members ask staff questions to confirm that there would be public engagement on segment 4. So that's us. Once the feasibility work was complete. I will confirm Clay and I did listen to that meeting, and they were pretty serious about making sure that segment 4 received public engagement meetings and that people would be here. And Metro would have to seek reapproval for federal funding from federal regulators to proceed with, if they proceed with a large underpass. So that is something that they do need to move forward with. So in terms of our priorities for 2024, I'm gonna just go around like this. We've got the 45 expansion project, which while not in our area, it does have a pretty decent impact on our community. They are starting that drainage work on St. Emmanuel, so we do need to keep an eye on it. BRT does have an impact on our community. Eastwood Park, the Telephone Road Revitalization Project, the South Lockwood Drainage Project, which I'm sure you probably have seen. It's a little north of us, but you do see that coming through. The West Bell Project, while not starting yet, we do need to keep an eye on it because the design should be starting to come through. And we want to know what that looks like and how the impact is on our community. And also the capital improvement list that Councilmember Martinez talked about in March. That's when they're going to start to release their projects. And we want to know what is going on in our community. The local elections, we've got state senators, U.S. House of Representatives, county commissioner, constables, and judges. That's something to keep in mind. Those things are going to come up. Neighborhood concerns, safety. We say safety, it's not just the firearms, it's the dogs, it's pedestrians, it's everything. We want to make sure our neighborhood is a livable place to be. Train blockages, mobility, beautification, affordability, and I added Greyhound because while not in our neighborhood, we just need to keep an eye on it, keep tabs on it, make sure that that our elected officials are staying on top of that. And then internal operations, improve our Spanish outreach. I've been in contact with Christina Morales' office so that we can improve our Spanish outreach. We have too big of I think it's like 70% of our population is Spanish speaking, and we just need to do a better job of reaching out to our Spanish speaking population. We are almost done with our 501c status. So hopefully that will be done in the next month or so. Improve communication, which our communications team is going to be taking care of. And then our operational norms, we always have room for improvement on that. Any questions here before I move forward?
One quick question. Are sidewalks involved with the safety aspect?
Maybe. We're still working it all out. Yeah.
Well, I see a lot of people having to walk in the street because our sidewalks are so bad. That's really bad for people with wheelchairs and handicapped folks and so forth. That puts them out in traffic. I consider that a safety issue.
Something in the Easton Pedestrian Safety Task Force is that unfortunately Eastwood is now part of the high injury network. So that means that we are now seeing people who are being injured, seriously injured or killed in terms of car accidents. Pedestrians, specifically pedestrians and cyclists, are unfortunately at more risk. And so now that's part of the reason why we're a part of that. And so we need to be taking a look at those things. And that's why part of the reason why I've been out walking so much is because I want to know where the problems are to be able to take back to the East End Pedestrian Safety Task Force and say, we need to know how we can mitigate these things, how we can fix these things. But if you know something I don't know, I want to know, and I want to know how to help prioritize that. And that could be through the safety committee. That's something that Sarah and I can talk through, and we can take that back to the East End district to say, we need to improve this because we need to have sidewalks here. And that's something that I know our new mayor has talked about extensively, is that the East End does not have some sidewalks. And maybe that's something we need to fix, and that's something we need to work on. So Sarah, that's something we can start to prioritize on how to get better information from our group on.
Well, the sidewalks, the project that are going on, Eastwood, Walker, who is in charge of them? The East district?
That one might be the Eastern district.
Because all the permits that they give now is water, it's backward. It doesn't go to the drain, it goes on the street.
You said Walker at Eastwood?
Walker, Eastwood, and Rush. Those drain now there is no slope, it goes upward. So when it rains, the water never makes it to the drain, it just spot on the street. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, it's big. Definitely. So while we're asking questions, if you want to join a committee, please. There is a master plan for Eastwood Park to be completely redone. And it's beautiful, except it's not funded yet. So, I had something to say on this.
Okay, we're wrapping up the presentation. I know it's late and I know we've gone over, but one of the things specifically because it's talking about park beautification that was not a committee yet, but it was discussed at the board level. There's a lot of interest that we're hearing among neighbors about how can we make Eastwood prettier? How can we have less trash? How can we plant new plants and trees? There's a lot of gardeners that naturally are already gardening and they've got too many plants. So we're looking at things like, should we have a plant swap? If you have extra limes on your lime tree, but you need lemons, can Paulette share with Paul, share with Hugo? So we're looking at putting together a group that can kind of tackle some of those things. If you're interested in that kind of stuff, we had like a wildflower like seed bombing expedition where we just walked around the neighborhood and threw bluebonnet seeds. It was fun. If you're interested in making that happen, I'd love to talk to you. I'll be out in the lobby. And also, because I know we're about to wrap up, just a reminder, if you do have things about like traffic and speeding and you want to learn more about how to participate in that, come see me in the lobby after. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, you asked about flock cameras. If anybody wants to hear about flock cameras, I want a presentation with the do that. About that, so. Spell that, F-O-C-K.
All right, so if you didn't hear, go talk to Paul about flock cameras in the back after the meeting is over. All right, so just a few announcements. We're almost done, I promise. There's just a few things that are happening in our area. Barrio Dogs is having a roundtable discussion about animal welfare around the city. This is February 7th at the Center for Pursuit at 6:00 p.m. That's something that you're interested in going to. New Hope Housing is having a groundbreaking event at 4:30 p.m. February 8th at 1887 Ennis. So that's just over there by 45 over by Sampson. South Central HPD is having their pit meeting 6:30 p.m. on February 13th at their HPD South Central substation on St. Emmanuel. Our super neighborhood is starting to gain steam again and building. So we're starting to get a lot of movement here. So if that's something you want to start to go to, you usually see a lot of council member representation. You can go there February 28th at the Magnolia Multi-Service Center. I think that you'll see some familiar faces there. And then, of course, our next association meeting is March 4th, right here at 6:30 p.m. So, of course, please come back because we will have hopefully a pretty neat meeting. We're looking to get HISD on hand to speak about the takeover. So hopefully we'll have some more information about that. So hopefully we'll see you there. And we did it right at 7:59. So thank you again for coming. I appreciate everybody being here and looking forward to a successful 2024.
Thank you.